Good morning, everybody. I'm gonna go live and do something that I normally wouldn't do live. That sounds bad. I normally would be more prepared, but I need to work on this piece, and I want to show you something. Can you see this right here? You know what that is? That is where tape was still on the piece, and when I was painting live the other day, I realized I hadn't removed all the tape. How I missed that, I don't know, but it happens to the best of us. So I just went ahead and taped over it while we were live. And I came in here today and pulled the tape off. And thank you, Tally Lassie, for helping us out during this time. So I pulled this off, and I'm going to put more on just this spot. So it happens to the best of us. Don't worry if that happens to you. And so I just wanted to point that out because I know you guys are going to see it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to use a stencil today. And I'm going to use it on this inset. And if I don't like it, it's okay because I'm just going to paint back over it. So bear with me. I grabbed a pie plate because I forgot to bring, a paper plate or something to offload. And I'm going to be stenciling with what's called Midnight Sky. And I'm going to water it down because I don't want it to be perfect. I want it to be a little bit aged. So, sorry, the lighting's really bad and I don't have a microphone on, and of course, once again, using my phone. So, I'm just going to take a little bit of this Midnight Sky, and I'm going to make a mess. I'm going to make a mess on live, so bear with me. Hey, Rita! I'm going to pour it right in here, just a little bit. There we go. So, just a little blob in my pie plate. I think I said cake plate. That's a pie plate. I'm going to close this back up. Now, when I'm stenciling, I do pour it out. Sometimes I go straight from the jar to paint, but this time I'm going to pour it out. And the reason why is I want to water it down a bit. And I have to offload. So these are the two. Hey, Cheryl. Watch me, good morning, make a mess, because I really am doing this without all my supplies. So I poured the little bit of paint, you can see it because it's clear, in here, and I'm going to be stenciling. These are two brushes I use. One is by Waverly, you can get it at Walmart, this one, and this one is by Country Chic Paint. It is a waxing paint brush, and you see their texture. So I might use both, or I might prefer one or the other once I get started. So I've got a stencil. I wasn't sure which one to use, and I'm still not sure this is the one I'm going to love, but I'm going to do it live. Normally I would film this, decide if I like it or not, delete it, and go with the one that actually I used, but instead I'll just show you exactly the process. There's also a weird thing on here, not weird. This inset goes up, which makes it awkward, so if I'm going to stencil, I'm going to have to start here, and I really should have painter's tape, and I don't have it with me, so I'm going to have to hold it, stencil it, and move it over, and try not to make a big mess, but it happens. And then the other option would be to use a different stencil, smaller stencil, and just make the line down, which would be so much easier. I can't decide, but here we go. You decide by just going with it and deciding you hate it or not. Now I'm going to water down because this is Midnight Sky. I would normally just add a little bit of white. Do I have a little bit of white? You know what? I do have a little bit of white, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add a little bit of water with my water bottles. Just water in here because I want it to water down. Then, how to film this while I'm holding and stenciling and offloading? Well, it's way above my head is the question. It's going to be a mess. I'm going to go with the Waverly brush to start with, and what I'm going to do, let me just show you. So I'm dipping in just a little bit, see? Just a little bit on the brush, and then offloading onto the plate. Can you see that without me pouring it out? So I'm getting a little bit on there, and then offloading it, and that's how you do that. So you won't be able to see me doing that off camera. Let's see if you can see. I'm going to start, if I start here, I'm going to start here. So I'm going to go with this one, and I can't decide because that stencil's really not going to fit. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out where a regular one goes. Bear with me while I talk to myself. This comes across, and then Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go across the part that has the first amount of space that will fit the stencil, and then I'll come back and add the top. Normally I would do the top first and work my way down, but I'm just gonna do it this way for ease. And I'm gonna start right here in this corner. And again, you would want to use painter's tape to hold this. I'm gonna do a shabby chic style, which means it's gonna be a little off center. There. So the point is you want to really have this held down by the painter's tape so it doesn't move, but it's gonna move. So excuse me as I go and make my mess. I'm gonna use this and just dab. And I'm just dabbing the paint on through the stencil. Because I want this to look old, it's okay if I miss a few spots and it's not perfect, or it's heavier in some spots and lighter in the others. Now this is when I need to re-dip into the bowl, and it should be right here next to me. But because of my setup, it's not, so this is gonna be kind of awkward. Let's, usually if you have the painter's tape, you could leave this and you could reach over. So, here I go. You don't want to move your stencil while you're in the middle of doing it, because there's very much likelihood you're going to be off when you put it back. It's not going to be perfect. Hey Deb, I'm making a mess, Deb. So I'm going to dip back into the paint, offload on my plate that I showed you earlier, and come back up here and try to line this back up. This is not the way you should do it at home. At home, use your painter's tape to hold it. And don't be filming live. Okay, and I'm going to go back over some of the spots that were a little bit lighter. I'm going to pull off, and you're going to see what's going to happen. This had a lot more paint on it, so it's darker. Now, I would love to move the camera in and show you this in great detail. Hopefully you can zoom in later, or I can show you pictures later. And it's a little crooked, as you can see. So that's my starter, and I was off just a little bit. I'm gonna keep on going with it because, you know, why not? And then again, if you hate it, you can paint over it. I can already tell that it's not exactly, hi Jean, hey Rob, exactly what I had in mind, but you don't want to take that first step and go, you wanna keep on going just a little bit longer until you can definitely make up your mind whether you hate it, or step away and you might like it later. So it is a little crooked, and I'm going to continue going on with that crookedness. And I'm going to dip back in my plate. If you just logged on, sorry, here's the plate, and I'm offloading. And because I'm using a glass plate to offload, this that I'm offloading onto, I can reactivate with my Mr. Water bottle and reuse it. So you don't use a lot of that paint. All right, I'm going to line this up. Again, you should have painter's tape to do this, but I didn't. And it's going to be off a little bit, but that's okay. And then you're going on top of what you just painted, which can make it smudge. But because I use such little paint, it should be okay. Normally you want to wait a few minutes or skip one over, but I'm not doing that because I'm live, and I'm just going to show you. Workout for your arms, your shoulders, when it's above your head. Now, I can see a little bit of line there, and that's because I didn't have painter's tape. But I'm probably going to do a watered down wax or a watered down whitewash, and that'll help fill that space in with your eyes. It won't be so drastic once I fill that in. And again, I'm going to come over here, line up again, and this is in the inset. So these are hard because of the inset. I chose a really good doozy of a one to do live, and without all my stuff. So yeah, not the greatest idea. Again, because it was still wet, it's carrying over a little bit, but that's okay. I will fix that with the trick of the eye. So again, I'm going to do this a little bit more, and then if I hate it, because I'm not totally in love with it, then I'll just paint it over again white and start over. So let's continue offloading. I'm using that plate, sorry. Hey Deb. And then, I don't know if I'm going to line it up. You know what? I think I'm going to make it a little off here. Let's see. It won't be perfect, and that's what I'm looking for. There you go. There's another one. See how it's going to continually. Now, to not mess up this paint that's still wet, you would want to skip over one, because this is such a small space. What I might do is just come straight down and then do the next row, which is what you're supposed to do. I never follow the rules. I kind of just go with whatever, because if I follow the rules, I'll convince myself I don't have time today to do this, or convince myself there's a million other things I could be doing, which is true. So sometimes you just start. Okay. And use your painter's tape. There we go. I'm getting a little bit on my fingers, so I can wipe that off with a baby wipe or a wet paper towel, whatever you want. It's water-based, so it will come off. Another thing that can happen is if you get a phone call or something else happens, the kids need you to come help with breakfast or lunch, you can stop, leave that paint and let it dry on that glass plate, and then reactivate it with that water mister, even if it's hours later or even a day later, and still use it. You want to clean off your stencil if you can, if you're going to not be using it for an hour or two, just to make it nicer, but you can do what you need to do. Hi, Kate. Kate, I'm making a mess. Please watch the beginning of the live, because I am offloading from this glass plate, which is a pie plate, because I didn't have my supplies here. Hey, B-Money. Whoops, sorry. Brooklyn's working on pickups right now, so she just walked by. We are officially closed, but we're doing pickups for this hour. Okay, lining it up again. Got a little bit here off the edge, and it's showing up here, and when I go back over it, it'll cover that. And honestly, again, you get the lines here, and I normally don't like those, but I'm going with it. So here we have it. Watch the mess as it happens. Just remember, again, don't be afraid to do stuff. I have so many people say I don't want to start because I'm not good at this and I don't know what it's going to turn out like. Neither do I. It's like coloring. You can always just, start over. Sorry, I know I'm blocking the view, but again, I don't have my accoutrements, and I'm fighting the noise of the construction crew next door who are building a hotel. Keep going. For those who are you like, I'm a professional painter and you're not supposed to do it without painter's tape, and you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that, that's fine. I like to do it my way, which is a mess, and I like that. I don't want it to be perfect. If it's perfect, then it wasn't hand painted. It's mass produced usually, so I'm okay with that. if you're home, which you should be, doing the quarantine, and you don't have one of these stenciling brushes, that's okay. Guess what else you can use? You know when you put your makeup on, some people with sponges, they either come like an egg shape or a little wedge sponge. You can get them at like Walmart or Walgreens, like a whole pack of like, I don't know, what is it, 20 or 30 for a couple bucks. You can use those too. You would just dab lightly into the paint like I showed you on the thing, and then you would use that as your pouncer. So you can use what you have. You'll get a different little bit of a pattern because it's more of a sponge pattern instead of a bristly pattern, but it works, and just use what you have. You don't have to leave the house right now. Have the kids help you. Okay, this is the bottom one, so it's going to be a little curved on the bottom. I am going right over that spot where the tape was. Okay, and then we're going to get in the corner, and that's where it gets a little tricky. You want to press down. And see, I'm getting it right here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. I'll have to show you later with it. There you go. Over this, I'm going to come back over with my white paint and touch that up because I didn't want the black paint on that accenting. So no stress. Again, it's like an eraser. You just paint it back over. This door does not want to stay shut. That's why it's such an annoying noise. There. Alright, so we did our first over and row, and I'm going to continue doing these. And then this line over here is okay. I'm going to let it dry. You can let it dry up to an hour if you want to continue and just do like a whitewash. Take your white paint in a bowl, just a couple drops, add a little water, mix it up, almost like you're cooking. And then you would just take a brush, a sponge, whatever you want to use. You could even use a washcloth and just smear it over lightly. You don't want to press hard to bring up this paint that's just dried recently. You just want to go over it, and it'll give it that faded, old, shabby chic look, or worn. Or you can leave it as it is and do a darker one. If you want to go darker, do a light gray paint, or the paint that I'm using, add a little bit of white paint, mix it up, and go over and make it more of a darker look. So there's so many things you can do. Thanks, Cheryl. It's kind of messy because I'm holding and doing all this. We sell stencils here at the store. We also sell some brushes. We may not have all of them right now because our distributors are not shipping because of the COVID-19, but we have a lot of supplies here. You can always call us, email us, DM us, message us, and ask what we have. But hopefully you have some of these things at home. Look for lace in your, if you have fabric, old lace, table linens that you don't mind ruining. I know, use the cheaper stuff. Or you can find patterns in nature, and you can go around, like take a leaf and go around it to make a reverse stencil. So there's things you can use if you want to play around with something with kids. Use a side table, something smaller to start off with kids, or a canvas, or even just a poster board or a piece of paper, and play with this and practice. And again, it's all waterproof. You can wipe it off. You can use your acrylic you have at home, your watercolor. But this is something you can do and just try to change up things. So I'm going to start over here again. I'm going to spray a little bit more water on this dish. I'm sorry I'm not showing you the dish because I'm holding and painting and all that too. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. And then, let's see, lining it up is really the hardest thing, and you really should just use your, sorry, I'm trying to do this, painter's tape, but I don't have it with me, so I'm just going to keep on keeping it. So what I'm kind of going for, even though it looks really strong there, I'm looking for that day after mascara eyeliner look. You know how if you don't take your makeup off and you leave your eyeliner and you wake up and it's a little smudged, a little bit lighter, not perfect line, but now it's smudged? This is what I'm looking for on this project. That's the color I went with. So I went with Midnight Sky, but I watered it down. It ended up getting, even though it's really dark, you can see how much I'm using. It actually ends up looking almost like a gray on here. Okay, these are not going to line up perfectly. Again, I'm okay with that. If you're not, use painter's tape. Okay, again, not lining up exactly correctly with the one next to it. It's okay. Sorry you're hearing all the construction going on. I did not re-dip into the paint between that one and this one. I'm going to do this one a little bit lighter. Keep on. And yes, it might bother your eye that this is off just a little bit, but again, I like the imperfection. I'm going to fix that with a little bit of a whitewash. And for those who are watching the previous one, I know I said I might do a boho, I might do stripes, I might do a tie-dye. Well, ended up going with this. Just popped in my head and I was like, you know what, let's try this. And then I asked B Money, which is Brooklyn, my sister, which one she preferred, and picked out one because there's 4 on this particular stencil. Notice when you buy these stencils, they could be like between $15 to $40, some of them, but you're going to use them so many times, so don't worry about it. Eventually, you're going to use them all, and for so many different projects. You can also get stencils at Walmart, Joann's Fabrics, and almost anywhere. Try to use what you have. Stay home right now. Oh, spirograph. If your kids have spirograph or some games, they have stencil. If you think about it, a spirograph is a stencil, and you can use those as well. So use what you have. You could also make your own. Take a piece of, I don't know, I'm trying to think what you would have in your house already. I always have extra sheets of crafting, so you can use a sheet that's a laminate sheet and cut it out with scissors and just do a simple pattern. You could use an X-Acto knife. Don't let your kids do that. Hi Amber Hopkins, thank you for asking. We'll have Brooklyn or Jason answer you about ordering some paint to be shipped to you. So you can do that and cut out your own stencils. You can also use poster board. If you're using the X-Acto knife, again, please don't let the kids do that because it can be dangerous, trust me. That one, I got a little bit of the paint from this and off my fingers by touching here. So it's a little bit of a smudge, but I like it. Alright, you see, this is the one without, this is the one with, and then I'm going to come back and do, this one's going to be the hardest because it's in the inset and you got to hold it and bend it at the same time. If you're doing a project, this is probably one of the more difficult ones, which is not really that difficult because of the insets. We're live if you want to come in.
You having fun yet?
I know it's also, okay, so Jason's going to come in. He's actually the one who's packing up your orders right now with Brooklyn. Packing up your orders, getting the shipping of paint and things you're seeing on Instagram.
Combing through every social media outlet we go through to make sure we don't miss any questions.
Yeah, people are sending us messages through DM, through commenting, Facebook, Instagram, Etsy, our website.
On YouTube we get questions.
YouTube,
Yeah.
and we also on our direct
Poshmark
email,
and-
Poshmark. So the phone's going off.
Did you mention Etsy and either?
I think I did, but
we're talking over.
so
each
then
other,
we answer someone, and then we have to go answer them. Like, yes, we'll look into that, and then we go back to tell them. We're like,
yeah, there's no more notification there because we had to say we will find out for you as soon as we can.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, where did they find us? Where did they comment? We even found a gentleman who found us on eBay, and he's like, I live in Tallahassee. Where are you? I've never heard of you. I'm like, we've been here 20 years, but we're right here at Railroad
Come
Square.
find us.
What's Railroad Square? I'm like, okay. How long have you lived in Tallahassee? Oh, all my life. I'm like, oh my gosh, but we're grateful. Yes, it's off center. Yes, there's smudges. Yes, that's where I painted over a piece of tape. No.
Oh.
When I was doing live,
I hate that. It happens to me all the time.
He didn't get the beginning. I knew when I was doing the live the other day that I had forgotten a piece of tape. I missed one because when you start to paint over it, you can see the shiny, and I'm like, oh, but I didn't want to stop while I was painting. I should have, but I let it dry. I ripped it off, and because I'm going to do the stencil over, I might touch it up with some white paint, or I may just leave it. I don't know. Right now we're smudged. We're not lining up correctly. There's lines. I'm going to make it with the whitewash I talked about, or a gray wash, or I don't know if I said this because I keep getting, you can use a bright red, a yellow, a blue, and water it down, and then go over it, and that way you would have a bright color on top of this too. So you don't have to just go with the basics. You can do whatever you want. So it's a hot mess, and it's my hot mess. I like it. So yeah, it's messy.
We kind of like hot messes.
Do you want to try one?
No.
He's like, no. So yeah, so if Jason's answering you, says
Actually,
hi.
I got a customer getting ready to show up shortly for.
We got curbside pickup and trunk pickups. You can just pop your trunk, and we'll bring the item out that you paid for and stick it in your trunk. No contact. We'll have a mask on. We don't have our mask on right now because we're talking to you live, and you wouldn't be able to hear us. We do have our mask.
Nobody's in here but us.
Nobody's in here, so yeah. So there you have it. So hi, Chris. Hi. It's nice to see people on here. I don't know where you guys are. Hopefully you're at home being safe, but it's fun to see you guys. So again, this was the cake plate that pie plate. I just picked this off the floor. As Andy would say, I normally leave the price tag on it because I'm gonna clean it off, but I think it was $8, but I forgot to bring the.
That's the beauty of the chalk thing. That'll clean up.
Yeah,
as long as we don't let it dry on there.
It can dry, and you can just reactivate it with water. If it's not too long, you can scrape it off. So, yeah. All right, I'm gonna do this last little bit down here. Again, it would be nice if I had brought my painter's tape, and yes, it's not adding up, it's smudging because I'm going right over it, but it is what it is. He's gonna go look and see if we have painter's tape, but to be honest, I'm at the last couple ones, so at this point, it does not matter. This right here, because it's a little inset. It's hard to get in there. There. Again, I've got some here on the little nubs that I'm going to repaint white, so. You are my one-time security guard, Chris! Chris, can you believe on that first Friday when you came in and helped out and Kayla and the whole gang were here? We took that picture. We have a picture of you, Chris, with the whole staff, the whole crew on first Friday. That was March first Friday. Does that not seem like it was a year ago, kind of? We did not know on March 1st Friday that a simple 7 to 10 days later, there would be a pandemic. Things that you read about in history class. If you were like me in middle school, I'd read about Black Plague and all these pandemics, and I'm like, oh, those guys back in the day must not have cleaned everything, or how does that happen? That's not possible in modern times, and here it is. Here it is. I would have never guessed it. So thanks again, Chris, for helping out with security on first Friday. I'm gonna go up here. You guys can hear all that beeping. That's the construction guys. He brings me painter's tape when I'm on the last little bit. I should have asked.
Door eventually.
He should have asked. Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well.
Yeah, just sit it there and yeah.
I like it.
You like it?
Yep.
Is it too? Well, I shouldn't say that. Too frou-frou or too? I don't want to say the wrong words, but.
Saying too fancy?
Too, not fancy. It's not fancy. It's too, it looks kind of Spanish to me. because of the stencil that was chosen, but it also
A
looks
little bit.
modern, and because it's off, because you can see where it does not line up, it kind of messes with your eyes. Again, I'm going to do a wash over that to help blend it, and it'll take away from the
And
actual.
also when you have it on the the full scale and
across
you're
the
not
room.
right up on
Yeah.
it, it'll blend.
So again, right now, if he said, say you hate it, say absolutely not going in our house.
Okay.
Just say it.
What? I hate it.
So what do? You pick up your white paint,
Paint over it.
you get your other brush out, and you just paint over it. It'll
No
take
harm,
you
no
10
foul.
to 20 minutes. It's striking. Thank you, Chris. And then you start over. It can't hurt. And seriously, I have used, look at the brush, like that's all. And I have tons of paint left on the plate, so I actually poured out more than I needed to. We're talking about less than an ounce, maybe half an ounce of paint with some water mixed in to do this. And I can get both doors done with that paint and still have some left over, so. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
hot
this paint
mess.
goes a long way.
It does. So you don't need a bunch. But if you hate it, paint over it. Start over. All right, I'm going to continue to do this. And then you see up here, I told you that inset. I'm going to work on that, which is bent. It's going to be a little off. So I'm going to dip back into the brush.
It'll happen just like you did down here. And then all you got to do is blend that in as well.
Yep. And I'm going to, because it
Easy.
is drying a little bit, I'm going to spray this with a little bit of water. And that way it'll diffuse it. I could have done Midnight Sky with some peony and mixed up, and then you'd have kind of a blended pink with black or any color. Choose whatever color you want. There's so many options. So I'm going to start up here. Now I'm getting into the part where there's the handle. I'm almost done. Leaving the hardest parts for last. Ah, they just turned off the construction beep, 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 beep machine. It must be lunchtime. And it got quiet. Okay, that one I smudged and put a lot of extra paint because I just dipped back in, and that's okay because this one will be darker than that one, but when it dries, it'll dry a little bit lighter. It won't be so garish. I am going to dip back in. I'm trying to hurry up to get out of here because we are officially closed and we got to get back to safety. Back to home where you guys all should be. Can I comment to you on something that happens whenever, I don't know why, there's a pandemic, and for some reason, I've noticed people are running red lights. It's like they're, I don't know why, it's like they're confused or they're not thinking straight, and I've seen more people run red lights on the way here to the store, from my house to the store, which isn't far, I think it's like 3 miles. So many people running red lights, so take a second when you're at the red light, count a few seconds after it turns green, because there's people running it, and I've seen so many wrecks. It's crazy. I don't know why that's happening, but people, slow down, think about what you're doing, and take your time. Watch for those red lights. It is so quiet without the construction crew going. I feel like, I don't know, it's so funny. Okay, this is the difficult part because it is curved. I even got my finger stuck through here. Oh yes, Tanya wants to know the diameter of the round wicker.
I just answered her.
Okay, sorry, it comes up on my phone, you guys, so I'm seeing messages that Jason and Brooklyn are answering.
Oh, she's got a new question.
Yeah, she has a question, another question. Thank you, Tanya. Tanya's husband is a TPD officer and has helped us out tremendously in the community, has been on the force for, I think, 20 years, maybe longer. I'm not sure about that, but excellent people, very sweet people. Help out your community, your nurses, your officers, all those people who are working the lines right now while we're at home safe. Alright, I got a little crooked here, so I'm just going to bring it back over. That's why you should use painter's tape. Now, if you do one and it's really, really bad, again, what do? You just pick up that white paint. I'm saying white because the base is white. If you use a different color, you just paint over that one spot. Let it dry first and then paint them. I will tell Brooklyn you said hello, Chris. Thank you. And Chris, we are technically not operating. Let me just say for you guys, we are closed. We're only open for pickups right now. This 1 hour that we posted will be open again Saturday from 11 to 12. That's only for pickups, curbside pickup. That means you've ordered something off Instagram or eBay or Etsy and you're local and you've opted to pick it up here, curbside, to save on the shipping fees. And so you tell us the day you're coming. The next day would be Saturday that we're open 11, 12. And then you tell us, hey, I'm on my way. I'm driving this kind of car. And when you pull up, you pop the trunk. We go put it in there, contactless. That way you're safe, we're safe. So technically we're not open. But I know what you mean, Chris. Thank you. Okay. Again, this one's difficult because it's on the edge. A little smeared, not bad, and I'll touch up this part with the paint. Now, I'm going to come back up here. This is going to be the hard part. This is that inset. Let's do that now, and then let's get out of here. Okay, so I've got it bent into this corner. I'm pressing down real hard because I didn't dip back into the paint, and it's too far over there to get it, so this will be a drier copy. And I'm really... That must have been their break because the construction's back up. It wasn't lunch break, it was break because it's loud again. Hey, B Money. It's a little messy, it's a little off because I didn't have painter's tape, but it is what it is. Alright, see? Got that inset. I think you can see, hopefully. Hey, Craig! Hi, Craig. We miss you. Okay. We're doing a pickup right now for a piece of furniture that she picked up. She needs it loaded in the car, so we weren't just doing trunks that was bigger. So if you don't mind being in live, you can totally come through. I am going to put my mask on. I will put my mask on just to be safe. If you want to say your name, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Are you really in?
Yeah, right here. It's right here.
Oh, okay.
This customer's popping in to look. Here's what I can do. If you want to walk by, you just tell me when, and I'm going to do this. Nobody can see you. And then tell me when you want to go back by. All right, you guys. She's popping in the gallery real quick to look at a piece of furniture. She's on Instagram. If you want to see it in person, we'll do this. So, hey, Craig. Craig, are you in Tallahassee or are you in Fort Myers right now? I think you're in town. I think you are during the COVID. So, all right, I'm going to wait a second. I'm just going to hit this spot and this spot, and we're done. As you can see, the difference between without and with stencils. Again, if we hate it, we're just going to paint right back over it. All center, you can see all the lines. I can even take a little bitty tiny like kids brush, paintbrush, a little bit of black paint. You're fine. There we go, okay. Thank you for shopping with us. It really keeps us seriously afloat. We can't stay, open without help, so thank you. Fort Myers. Okay, Craig. I couldn't remember. Let me go back to this. I'm dipping a little bit back into the paint on my stencil brush. Crafty Craig, that's what we call him. He's been our friend for many, many years. All right, I'm gonna try to get this inset. Again, I'm bending it and holding it at the same time, so excuse how I do this. And you can't just press in if you don't want to pounce, because in this particular area.
Okay, I'll be right with you. We got a special guest.
We have a special guest. Oh my gosh! I own a live. I don't know if you want to be on live, but if you...
Sure.
All right, hold on. Let me put my... No? Yes? No? Okay, he said no. We have a special guest. He has his mask on. I have my mask.
Okay.
Just to let you know.
That looks great. That looks
It's off-centered, and I didn't have a painter's tape to hold it, so I'm making a mess, but I'm going to take my little kids up. They know. Kids brush and feeling. Craig is online. Craig! You're getting your crafting fix. Crafty Craig is in Fort Myers, but he's visiting us from here. I thought he might be in Tallahassee today, but he's not. So, Craig, I'll tell you later who's visiting, because you know him. So, You like him. He's your friend.
There's one thing I have to ask you about the questions in yesterday's meeting.
Yes.
That map where they divvied up, was I assigned an area?
I think you are on there.
I think it
I have
would
it
be
saved on my
email.
phone, but sorry, I'm using my phone right now, so.
If you could message me later.
Yes.
And anything else that you think I missed it because I couldn't hear anything, and I found out that I needed to turn something on my phone,
Oh, yes.
and now I
Do we have the Prima sunflower transfer? That you might know of. I know you don't know the.
It's so good to see you. I haven't seen you.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys. We're
Okay.
stopping, but we're doing. I'll send that information to you. We do, but we sold it to Lara. Lara, thank you for buying that transfer. And so
Okay.
I think it's here for Lara.
That's it.
Go onto our eBay and type search and see if it's on there. And if it is, we can give them the one that's here if it's the same one. And then Lara's picking up on Saturday, and I can bring the other one from home. Actually, you know what? I deleted it. Never mind. I deleted it because Lara. Sorry.
That means there's no more. If you
No, I
delete it, right?
think we had one more, but I went ahead and just took it down, so it would be down.
Okay.
Can you show me a picture of it?
Hmm?
If you look up the picture, the one she's talking about, show her the one that's here and say you're talking about this one. And if she says yes, sell her that one, and I'll bring in the other one that's at the house. This is so much fun, you guys. I'm learning
What
as
if
we
we
go.
don't have another one?
We do definitely
we
have
do
another.
definitely-
I
okay,
know
okay.
for sure we have another one.
Okay, alright, cool.
The two that we have another one. So because we got governor's orders to close, I took the paint and the stencils and the transfers home to list on our eBay and Etsy. And now some people are here popping in and going, do you have it here? It's actually at our home office, so I can bring it here once they purchase it. And I'll be bringing all that back to the store when we get the okay to open, which again, we don't know when that's going to be. So just hang in there with us. But we can always bring it to you here for pickup, or we can ship it to you. Even if you come in and we don't have it, we can ship it to you. And it's only a couple dollars to ship in Tallahassee. So save yourself the trip, stay home, and don't go across traffic and all that. We can just ship it to you. So easy. And it'll get to you within like a day or two at the most. So for example, when I leave here, I'm going to go home, get all the orders, then ship out. I shipped out the ones from last night this morning, and then I do it again this afternoon, and then we'll do that again tonight. So we do it like in 3 stages, so that way we're constantly getting stuff out to you as quick as possible. Okay, so I filled in this. I don't like how this one turned out, so I'm going to fix that. I'm going to add a little bit more to it right now. Actually, you know what? I thought it was a mistake, but it's because that particular angle is missing this loop, so it looks like it's missing something. I may hand paint that in with the little kids thing. Okay, bye, Craig. Oh, it's so good to see you too. Craig's going back to work, so he's not going to be watching the live. I've known Craig since I was like in my teens, I think, and from Callan, my friend Callan and Julia. All right, so there you go. I don't know how long that took. It took a lot longer because we're talking and we're stopping to help customers, but there you go. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna do the other side the same way I did this side. Let it dry overnight because I'm not gonna be here, not because it needs to. It's almost completely dry already, so I could go to the next step now, but I would rather take a break, go home, work on all those orders. Thank you guys for supporting us and ordering. Brooklyn's hard at it, taking pictures, answering your questions about sizes. She's doing everything she can because we're a local family-owned business. She's my sister, if you guys don't know, and every little bit helps. Even if it's a $5, purse that we're shipping out to you for a couple bucks, every little bit helps. It helps our crew stay on, helps our consigners, because if we stay open for business, not open like physically right now, but if we stay afloat, then luckily, graciously and gratefully, seriously, I know that's all hokey pokey, but this has taught me more than anything. I've had to work about 10 times harder and to make about 10% of what we normally do, but I am grateful for every bit of it. And our consigners have been so sweet and so nice, like, hey, we got to stay open, we got to stay afloat, we'll do this together. I thought some people would be very angry and upset and like, oh, this, that, and the other, but no one. Everyone has been positive. All our Railroad Square neighbors and their businesses, all locally owned. Please go to railroadsquare.com and look up all our neighbors' businesses. If you could, even if you're not shopping right now, like them, thumbs up, heart them, follow them. that makes their numbers go up and they get seen by more people all across the world, and that's how you can help them without actually spending money. It's very important. I get emotional about it because you just don't know what you have until it's been taken away, and you just don't realize how, like, I am grateful every day, but this is even more so. Like, it's a good reminder. It wasn't a good thing to have a pandemic, but in some ways, slowing down, enjoying my dad and my mom and my brother and my sister and family and my consigners, and really appreciative of so many grateful things. My friends, Callan, hey Barbara, neighbors like Barbara, check out Simas, P-S-I-M-A-S, Simas, Barbara Simas Art at rarersquare.com, or look her up on Facebook. So again, supporting everyone, it's really important. Shop local. Thank you for Quarter Moon for making masks, and kumbaya, I know, but seriously, it's honestly and sincerely, genuinely, thank you, grateful, grateful, grateful.